Making a bracket for Travis's steering box. First we got to do is take this off. Now we're going to take that marker and we're going to trace this out and trace the hole locations. Now we've traced that out, we're going to go ahead and draw lines. Now we've drawn our lines and they're nice and straight and equal. I have to make a half moon shape to match the half moon shape of the box. I'm just going to eyeball it. Alright, now I did that, I'm going to go ahead and cut all this out. I'm going to cut it out using this, nice and slow. Now that I cut it out and everything matches up, I went and I drilled some holes in it. And then I brought it over to the box and test fitted it, and it fits perfectly. So this will mount to this. This is the distance between your firewall. This distance is unknown because every bus is built differently, so you'll have to measure it. Next, we'll make a line and we'll cut this out. This will be our strip that mounts to the firewall. Now the strip's cut, I'd put a dotted line across here. I'm going to scar this, and then I'm going to fold it, and then I'm going to weld down the middle. I don't have a brake to bend this with or a torch, so I have to do it that way. Then I'll drill a couple of holes to match the size of the rib nut inserts and stainless steel screws that I'm going to use to mount this to the firewall. Once that's done, I'll take everything and I'll set it in there, and I'll overlap these, and I'll figure out what my distance is going to be, and then I'll drill a couple of holes right here, and I'll use nylocks so they don't vibrate loose, and that'll cover that distance to the firewall underneath the dash and hold the box in place. And all it's supposed to do, it's not supposed to hold it this way, it's supposed to hold it and keep it from twisting from the torque of the motor. It's not a lot, so it doesn't take a lot of hardware, heavy duty hardware. This is only 1/8 inch mild steel. Can I do this with flat barb? Probably. Make it a little quicker, but all I've got right now is a plate of steel, so I'm cutting everything out of a plate of steel by hand. So I'll clean all this stuff up, get it all prepped. When the kit comes to him, I'll have some drill holes already pre-drilled so he can get up underneath there, and if the holes don't match up to where he needs, he can drill a new set, put his hardware in there, and then bolt it to the firewall. Okay, the metal's scarred, so I'm going to go ahead and bend it. Okay, made my bend. I'll weld along that edge right there to make it solid. Pre-drilled my holes. These are M6 stainless steel rib nuts and all stainless steel hardware. This is what a rib nut looks like. You drill a hole in your metal and you stick the rib nut inside there. It's screwed to the gun. This is a cheap rib nut set that I got from Amazon several years back. I've been using the hell out of it since I got it. It's been awesome. But you screw your rib nut onto the end of this gun. You drill your hole into your firewall, and then you go and you stick this up in the hole, and then as you squeeze the gun, I think I got to use 2 hands. Let's see if I can get that in there. It does that. Widens itself for the hole. You screw it in a little bit more, and you can do that on the back of the handle, and then you continue to squeeze, and there it goes. It pinches the metal and expands inside that hole just like that. It's not going anywhere. Now it's permanently fixed to wherever it is you drilled your hole, and you can run your bolts in and out of it with no problem. And that's these are stainless steel. What comes with the kit is not. So I just buy a little box, different size rib nuts, gives me all my dimensions and everything. I try to keep everything millimeter because that's what's on the bus, and that's what my tools are for the bus. So that overlaps just like that. Get your distance to your firewall, wherever it's at. Drill a hole, drill a second hole. Use some hardware with some nylocks on it. And now you've got your mount that keeps your steering box going from left and right. And with these holes drilled, this mount fits right over your box, just like that, out towards the firewall. And the reason why I use this flat stuff is because you can bend it. You can bend it and conform it. I think what I'm going to do for Travis is, once I get it kind of sized up based off of my steering box and my bus, I'm going to go ahead and drill some holes. And when I run the bolts through, I'm going to go ahead and mount the ECU underneath, so it's all tight and close to the unit and easy to plug in and kind of hidden away up under the dash. A lot of the kits that you see, there's a lot of crap that's exposed, and that's what we want to avoid. So do your best. I can bend this, you know, higher and go up into the firewall this way, and then on this end I can bend it back down to go flat into the firewall and give me all that clearance underneath my dash. There's all kinds of things. You just got to open up your mind and do them. Anyway, so that's how you build a bracket for one of these steering boxes. And then when my parts get here, we'll be going over the wiring. I think I've already kind of showed you the preparation of the box. I've got to weld that piece on still from the other video that I did. So once I get this welded on, this will slide over, and then all Travis will have to do is cut his steering shaft right below the lug that actuates the locking mechanism for the key, and then weld it to the end of this, and this will slide right on. For the other side, going down to the floor, it's got a collar. It's got threads like this that goes over that. What comes out of here is your steering shaft that goes towards the floor, so you weld this onto it. Then we have a slip joint in here, and then we have the little attachment that bolts to your rag joint, and then you just slide it in. Use your existing tube cover and all that. In your tube cover, you'll have to drill a hole in the side of the tube that goes over the shaft. That way you can access this. This is a set key, so little Phillips head guy. So you'll get in there and you'll screw that in nice and tight. I recommend doing the little sight glass hole in the tube for this. I actually welded mine to mine, and then when I went to put it in, I didn't have a slip joint down here, and it was a nightmare trying to get it in and out. I had to muscle the whole dash. I had a friend over here to help me out. So that's what we're going to do for him, is we're going to make it easy and simple. And later on, if anybody else, you know, asks for these kits, I'll be able to send you templates for all this stuff in a file, and then you can just cut these out, lay them over your metal, cut everything out, and put everything together. And it'll be super simple. All right, guys, take care.